Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm happy to see y'all today. Good evening. I want to spend some time talking to y'all today. I just need to spend some time talking to y'all. So in light of that, I'm going to wait for y'all to get up in here, wait for a few people to get in here, and we're going to go ahead and get started today, right? So let's wait. Let's give a chance for some people to get up in here, and then we're going to have us a conversation, right? Because this is something that needs to be talked about too. Hey, Anna, how you doing? How y'all doing? So, we're gonna let a few people get in here, and then we're gonna talk, right? We're gonna debunk another thing going around the black community. I can't. I got to speak on it. I got to speak on it. So, all right. Let's go ahead and get into it, right? So this one right here, I had completely forgot about it. My birthday, first of all, thank you so much, Anna, for asking about my birthday. My birthday was filled with work. So I worked on my birthday. That's what I did. So, but that's never a bad thing. I love what I do. So it's all good. So listen. We need to talk about something. And I completely forgot about this, honestly, because even though like a couple people had asked me about it like months and months ago, right? I had kind of completely forgot about it because it's one of these stupid things that like I would never even entertain. So I kind of forgot about it, right? But we need to talk about a thing that's going around the black community and has been going around the black community for a little bit of time now that just ain't right. Okay, so check this out. Wait. So, okay, pardon me. I see a question here. Did Tony pay you? I think I've answered this question before. I've never accepted money from Tony. I'm not interested in Tony's money. It is never going to happen. I don't know what he would be paying me for anyway, because that ain't that. So just there that is. So let's, I think you asked me this question before. I think I covered this question before. So let me cover it again. I don't know why what Tony would be paying me for what he would be paying me for. Like, we ain't even cool like that. So let's be very clear about that. So moving right on along. So, the interesting thing about this, right, is this. So the thing I want to talk about is this thing that people are going around calling a Sou-Sou, right? I want to talk about this blessing loom, this lending loom, this blessing tree, all these different names going around for this little flower, the flower thing, whatever you want to call it. It's got a number of different names. It's got a lot of different AKAs going with it, right? But at the end of the day, right, it's a Ponzi scheme. Y'all, it's a Ponzi scheme. It's an illegal Ponzi scheme. And let me tell you, so first of all, let me tell you what a Sou-Sou really is, right? What a Sou-Sou really is, right? This is something that started in Africa, right? And a Sou-Sou was a collective group of people that would put in money, right, at specific periods of stated, agreed upon times. Everybody would put in the same amount of money at specific, agreed upon times. And what would happen is that collective pot would be distributed to one person each time. And it would rotate around until everybody was a recipient. But at the end of the day, the person that received the money would actually be paying it back. It was essentially a loan. They would be paying it back because they would still be making contributions to the collective investment pot all the time at each stated contribution period, right? So that's what a Sou-Sou is, right? What these people are talking about in the United States, these black folks that's pushing this thing in the United States, is most certainly not a Sou-Sou. So let me it's exactly the opposite of a Sou-Sou. So let's run into that. Let's talk about that. What are they talking about? What they've structured is a Ponzi scheme. They're saying, hey, check this out. I want you to, you're going to put $500 and then you're going to recruit two people and they going to put in $500 and then they each going to recruit two people And by the time that you get to those people recruiting they 2 people, then you're going to be in the water and you're going to get $3,500. All right. That's cool, right? And it sounds great. And it sounds wonderful. And it's like, man, I can put in $500. And if I just go get a couple more other people to put in $500, I can get $3,500. Let me tell you something. You are engaged in an illegal Ponzi scheme. It is a recruitment tactic. They are getting you to recruit other people for the benefit of getting $500, right? So that's that. And so in light of that, right, let's walk into this. So when you do that, right, what happens here is, so what is a Ponzi scheme? Wait, first of all, let's talk about a Ponzi scheme. I need to discuss what a Ponzi scheme is first, right? So what is a Ponzi scheme? A Ponzi scheme is when, right? Let's be very clear here. A Ponzi scheme is when you take old people money, people that have already invested, previous investors' money or previous people's money, and use it to pay the new people. It's when you keep recruiting. You're not investing in anything. You don't have any tangible product or service to offer, right? But you continue to recruit, and you pay the old people that have invested or contributed money to the scheme with the new investors' money. That is called a Ponzi scheme, right? So when you look at this thing they call the blessing loom or the blessing tree or whatever they want to call it, right? At the end of the day, it is structured exactly like a Ponzi scheme. Because at the end of the day, okay, let's say you bring in 2 people, they give $500. Now they got to each find 2 people to bring in $500, right? And now those people have to go find 2 people, and then the people that they find, that the 2 people that they found have to go find 2 more people. Eventually what happens is somebody is not going to be able, a group of people are not going to be able to find 2 people to invest this $500, and they're going to be left holding the bag. They will get nothing. The people at the top make money and everyone at the bottom makes nothing, right? And this is what you have to understand about these illegal Ponzi schemes, these Sou-Sous, these blessing trees, these blessing wheels, whatever you want to call it, right? What you need to understand about this is, and this is how I explained it to the people that asked me about this and asked me to weigh in and give an opinion on this months ago, right? I'm going to explain it to you like I explained it to them. Okay. So you're going to your family and friends. Okay, we're going to hashtag make it make sense right now. Let's hashtag make it make sense. So you're going to go to your family and friends, right? And you're going to get them to invest this $500, right? And then they're going to go to their family and friends and get them to invest $500 or their colleagues or whatever, right? Now, what happens if a person that you introduce to this does not make the $3,500 and doesn't get their $500 back because they can't find the people, right? What happens if somebody that they pulled into this thing doesn't get their $500 back, doesn't make the $3,500, right? At the end of the day, you are risking your reputation, you are risking your credibility, you are risking your track record for what purpose? For $3,500, for the potential to get $3,500? Somebody that you know, or that someone that you know that brought in someone is going to get hurt. So someone that you know directly or is indirectly affiliated with you because they know someone that you know who then went out and recruited them is going to get hurt. And because of that, the person that gets hurt is going to be upset. They're going to be upset with you if you're the one that they know directly, or they're going to be upset with the person that brought them in, and that person is then in turn going to be upset with you. You are destroying your reputation. And here's the reality of the situation, right? when you are looking for money for something, oftentimes in the black community, you've only got one shot because most people don't have a lot of savings to give anyway. Most people don't have a lot of money to invest anyway, right? So if you waste or burn that relationship for what is tantamount to, first of all, a fraud, but second of all, utter nonsense, right? You have completely cut off an investor source that could have been used for something that actually would be really good, that actually would be really profitable, that would actually be good. Like, I don't know, like starting your own business, right? See, when you start a business, you're going to need startup funding. You're going to need startup capital to get going what you're trying to get going. I would much rather have my family and friends believe and get behind something that I've worked diligently on, that I've built a nice strategy for, that I have a great execution model for, right? I would much rather them invest in my business and what I'm trying to develop than to invest in a Ponzi scheme, than to invest in something that I have no control over, then invest in something that's a fraud and that is illegal. I mean, the FTC has already put out a notice on this. The FTC has specifically talked about this very specific thing. It is not smart. You have to be a good relationship manager. It is not smart to risk your relationships, to risk the value of your relationships for something that is tantamount to the maximum you're going to make anyway is $3,500. But you're going to burn some bridges along the way. See, sometimes you have to ask yourself, I told you, and I tell you all the time, that your wealth, right, is built, right? Your wealth is built in your relationships. Wealth is relationships. It's not dollars. So that's that. That is reality. Wealth is built in relationships, not dollars. And that's the difference in mentality between the rich and the wealthy. The rich think they're wealthy because they have a whole lot of money in their bank account. The wealthy understand that their money, right, is tied to the strength of their relationships. So what they never do is risk their relationships, the quality of their relationships, for something that they don't have reasonable comfort or certainty in. They're not going to risk their relationships, right, for something that could potentially be fraudulent, right? Like these Ponzi schemes called Sou-Sous. You see what I'm saying? Like these lending, these what do they call them? The lotus flower, the blessing tree, the blessing flower, and all of this. Like, listen, you don't burn your relationships for foolery like that. You don't. You do not waste your relationships for foolery. Do not do that kind of stuff. You have to be a long-term thinker. And the biggest problem in our community is we always looking for the next get-rich-quick scheme. We always looking for, the shortcut to quick money. Wealth is built over a lifetime. There is no shortcut to this thing. You see what I'm saying? There is absolutely zero shortcut to this thing. It doesn't exist. You gonna earn this. You gonna put in your 10,000 hours. You gonna grind. You gonna need the sufficient knowledge, the proper command of subject matter. You're gonna need, right, the experience, and you're gonna need the execution ability. You're gonna have to learn the intangible art and science of maintaining and managing your relationships properly. That is where your wealth is. That is how you build wealth. There is no shortcut to this. All these little get-rich-quick schemes, let me, put in $500 for $3,500 and go find 2 people and then tell them people to go find 2 people and you're going to make, man, bump all of that. Bump all of that. Bump all of that. That's just that. Bump all of that. Don't do it. Don't do it. So I just wanted to take some time to have that discussion with you. I'll take some questions at this moment. I see DJ Murray. Hey, Fred, I had a question. Can you add me? What is the question? Is it relevant to what we're talking about here? Mr. Murray? Okay, I don't know where Mr. Murray went, but if anybody has questions or comments or concerns regarding these Sou-Sous, regarding any other types of these little Ponzi scheme ventures, listen, like at the end of the day, let me tell you something. Like a lot of these, like people get involved in these multi-level marketing, direct marketing things. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You know, you see you at the top, you know, all of this, that, and the third. I'm not saying that if you get in early into one of these direct marketing things that you can't make some money. But all the time and resources that you spend getting in early, if you get in early, if you're early enough to capture the market in your area and you spend 10, 15 years, and I know somebody that's top in Herbalife, right? I grew up with him. He used to be my notary in my mortgage company. Like, listen, I'm proud of him. He's top president, 20K club, all of this. The brother's probably making $250, $300 a year, but he's been doing this for like 15 years now. Had he put 15 years into his own business, imagine where he could be. Obviously, you had the charisma. Obviously, you had the work ethic. Obviously, you had to grind. Think about how much more money you would have made if you would have put that grind and effort and energy into something that you have 100% control of. Because don't get it twisted. If you're making $250, $300 a year at Herbalife, how much money do you think Herbalife is making off of you? Herbalife is a multi-billion-dollar company that's publicly traded, that is global. Don't get this thing twisted. They paying you shekels compared to what they're making, and that's real. So with that, I'm going to bring on DJ L. Murray. Now, y'all, I want you to know right off the top, I don't know what he's going to say. I cannot opine to what he's saying right now. I don't know what it is. So I'm very careful with that. I need to put that disclaimer out there before I bring this brother on. You know, and I hope sincerely that he's going to add value to the conversation. But if it don't make sense, I'm definitely going to correct it. But I'm going to bring him on now. Here we go. Give me a second. So I think he's coming on now. It says waiting for DJ. Mr. Murray, how are you, sir?
Man, I'm good.
Okay, what's up? What you got for the community?
Well, when you was talking about the whole Ponzi scheme thing, it made me think of something that I had got caught up in called World Ventures. It's a travel club.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, so basically, I kept having to pay into it because I couldn't get enough people signed up in order for my monthly payment to stop. Every time I would get enough people, somebody would drop out because they couldn't get enough people to sign up under them, and so on and so on. So what turned me on to it is because you got like these white communities in these small towns, and they make that stuff work for them. They support each other with that, whatever you want to call it, the signing up, whatever you want to call it. They support each other and they make that work. Everybody's getting money with that, when they're in their community. But like when I'm trying to do presentations and stuff like that, you might get one person to sign up and they might not even stay with you, and then they end up dropping. So it was just a struggle for me, and I paid out so much more money than I even made. I didn't even make any money off of that.
Well, see, this is the thing you got to realize, right? So first of all, you got to understand, again, you got to understand your market, right? So if you are African-American and you're getting involved in one of these direct marketing schemes, right, unless you have a substantial relationship and following your area with people, a lot of people that deal with you and trust you already, you're going to have a hard time out the gate. Because just as a community, over in general, we are skeptical and distrusting of one another out the gate. So that's something that, you know, you have to account for when you get involved in these kind of situations. Moreover, right, the goal is, see, you got to understand the direct marketing mentality from a corporate standpoint, right? From the people that actually own the business, not the direct marketing agent. From the people that own the business, their goal is number one and number one only: sell products. So if they get 10 people that come in and or 10,000 people or 10 million people, and those people only last 3 to 6 months, they invested in products for that 3 to 6 months to keep their memberships active. So the corporation is still making money, irrespective of if you're making money or not. They're making money off of you. They made sign-up fees off of you. They made initiation fees off of you, application processing fees off of you. They've made tons of money off of you. That's their business model, right? Their business, they don't care how many people you recruit or don't recruit. You know, they don't care how long you stay, as long as you pay that application fee, administration fee, sign up free, and buy some products. They've made their money on you. They're good to go. They're good.
Yeah. That's absolutely correct, and that's what happened. I just ended up together, you know.
Now, just think. Now, how much money did you invest in that business? Maybe $1,000.
Yeah, probably a little
now,
more.
Just think. Right. Now, just think if you would have took that $1,000 and put it in towards starting your own business, or put it into an index fund, or put it into cryptocurrency, something that would have provided you exclusively a tangible benefit. You see what I'm saying? It's all about, it's not, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't know how to strategically deploy your capital into the right areas to make the type of money that you need to make for yourself, right, then you're just throwing money away. You know, and one thing I've always tried to teach people is you never throw good money after bad. And what I mean by that is, if you see a thing isn't working out, you don't keep pumping money into it. You cut your losses and you move on, right? Because the net present value of money always has to be in the forefront of your mind at the end of the day, and the opportunity cost that you're losing for that money being tied up in something that's not producing in relation to having been invested in something that would have been producing better for you, right? So there's always an opportunity cost that you've got to consider when you're doing these types of things. And don't worry, guys, I'm going to get into opportunity cost. I'm going to get into, you know, like the net present value of money and how to strategically deploy capital and what you have to be thinking about, you know, when you're considering investing in anything. Remember, like I always say, your money, they're like soldiers, right? You send them out to war, you expect them to take hostages and come back, right? Yeah. That's their job. So you always have to think about it like that when you're doing that. So, you know, I appreciate you for sharing that story. I'm so happy. I'm so sorry that that happened to you. Like, that sucks. But I'll be honest with you, like, and I'll be honest with the community. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, look, before I got the knowledge that I got and got the experience that I got, I tried World Financial Group. I did that. Yeah, I tried that for like 3 months. Let's not get it twisted. I done been got to. Don't get it. They done got me. They done got some of my money too. Like when I first got out of the military, when I first got out of the Army, I was looking for ways to make money. I didn't have near the knowledge I had now. This was before I got into mortgage. I got out of the military December 12, 2005, right? So I came home from ETS from Korea. So I came home from Korea and I was looking for ways to make money. And, you know, so everybody was talking about this World Financial Group. And then, you know, like, it's funny, it was one of my teachers, one of my old teachers from middle school, my band teacher, got me involved in this foolery, right? So I trusted her because I felt like she was my band teacher. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, she was a teacher. I trusted her. I felt like she knew what she was talking about. Seemed like she was, you know, doing a little better in her life. So I went ahead and went down to one of these meetings. Everybody, they got the music playing, everybody clapping, everybody celebrating, everybody kicking it out. You know how they do. And you know me, I'm mad young at this time, right? So I'm hyped, like, yeah, I'm going to get this bag. Yeah. Well, sir, it didn't work out that way. They just got my money. Yeah. That's all. But I'm thankful for it because, you know what? Like, so everything, this is what you got to know too. And this is something that I want to share with everybody. At the end of the day, right? Everything can be a win for you. Like all your losses, like even though you lose temporarily, you lose battles, but you don't necessarily have to lose the war, right? So, you know, like every loss is a lesson. And so to be honest with you, like that company opened the door for me to get my Series 7. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that kind of changed everything, right? It got me the opportunity to take that securities license, and it started me thinking about things differently. And like, because they were doing mortgages, right? They would do this thing where they would get people to refinance their homes and then invest in a variable universal life insurance product. I didn't understand what variable universal life insurance was, what a variable annuity was. I didn't understand any of that. I got my insurance license. I studied everything I possibly could about these products, and I realized that these products can be really bad if you're not young. If you're like over like 45, 50, VUL is not for you, right? So I learned that, but I learned that because I wanted to know, right? I'm a nerd. So I always kind of wanted to know, what I was, what I would be investing in, and what I would be doing, and what I'm involved in, right? Because if I'm going to be selling a product, right, I got to believe in the product. I got to understand the product, right? I can't just sell something that I don't understand. So, for me, that's kind of what it was, right? And so I learned a lot. So yes, I invested some money. Yes, I lost some money in the process, but the knowledge I gained was invaluable, right? And that knowledge was that's what propelled me, part of what propelled me into being a junior loan officer and getting into the loan industry, and then progressing from there and eventually getting onto Wall Street. You see what I'm saying? So everything had a progression, right? Everything had its place and had its process and had its reason. But it wasn't that I got down on myself or I felt bad about it. I learned how to turn it into something that could benefit me later. And a lot of the times in life, what you have to do is take the meat and leave the bone, right? So, in every experience, there's always something that can be learned from that experience that's positive, that you can apply to your life to make you better and put you in a better position to be successful. But you have to have the right perspective when you go through things like that, right? And I think a lot of times people's perspectives are wrong. They get jaded, they get bitter, they don't really sit back and look at what they learned or how it could benefit them, what they experienced. And so then they never want to try again. They get shell-shocked and scared, right? So that's kind of how that goes. But yeah, no, man, I hate that happened to you, but listen, brother, I went through it. I went through a World Financial Group. That most definitely did. My mom, funny enough, rest in peace, rest her soul now. She got into Amway years ago when I was a kid, and was a dude that recruited her. I never forget it. Was a skinny ass white dude. And he was trying to holler at my mama, like on the low, like he was trying to low key holler at my mama, right? But anyway, he would pull up in his Porsche and he would do like these little classes. I never forget it. Like, he would show up to the house and he had a whiteboard and he'd be trying to do these little classes, with my mama and her little friends or whatever, and trying to recruit them into the business. And I remember we went to this convention this one time, and I told my mom, I was like, this doesn't seem like it's going to make any money. Like, it's a lot of people in here. And it's like, how do you make money? How are you going to recruit people? It's like everybody in San Bernardino here. Like, make it make sense.
Right.
Like, sure enough, my mom ain't make no money, you know what I mean? But my mom tried a number of those things though, right? So like, and that's endemic in our community. We want the wealth, we want the bank account, but a lot of us just aren't willing to put in the work to get it. Everybody wants to be successful, but very few people are willing to put in the work and make the sacrifices necessary to be able to get there. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a long bridge. It's a long gulf between, I want to be rich, I want to be wealthy, and I am wealthy. You got to build a bridge between, boy, and that golf long, boy, and that bridge, it take a long time to make that bridge. Believe that. So, but that's that. But no, Mr. Murray, I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you, joining me on this live. I'm happy to see you. Always happy to spend time with the community. So I thank you for your input. It was valuable, and, I hope everybody learned something from Mr. Murray's story. Stay away from that direct marketing. It ain't for you. Don't do it. Invest that time in your own thing.
The meetings,
all right, brother,
to really think that make you that you can make it, to work. It's like those meetings you go to, man. It's like a form of brainwashing. It's they got me.
Right. Well, you got to look at it like this, right? It's easy. It's easy to get hyped up, during a meeting. But when you get back in your car, you ain't made no money from that meeting, number one. You showed up and you got hyped up. You ate a little cheese and crackers and water. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And you hype and you listen to some music and you get back in your car. You still got a quarter tank of gas in there. The meeting ain't putting no more gas in your car.
Yep.
Fact of the matter is, any overdue bills that you got, they still overdue. Like,
Yep.
you ain't make no money from none of that. That's all time that you could have been spending reading and researching and perfecting your strategy for your own business endeavor to make yourself some money that will put some gas in your car, that will pay those overdue bills, and put you in a position to be able to save and invest and grow your own portfolio. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
it all comes down to the perspective and what you're willing to deploy your capital into. If you're not willing to take a chance on yourself, like, the number one person you should always invest in is you. You live with you every day. You know you better than anybody else. Man, I'm gonna bet on me 100 times. Boy, listen,
Yeah.
listen. At the end of the day, if I gotta choose between betting on somebody else or betting on myself, I'm gonna bet on me. I'm gonna bet on
Right.
me. Me. I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna bet on me.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, if it don't work out, then I got nobody to blame but me. I'm putting
Right.
my future, my wealth capability, my capital, which is what I'm going to use to begin to build wealth, in the hands of somebody that ain't me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna learn. I'm gonna take the time. I'm gonna invest in the resources and knowledge and all of that to be able to create. Because at the end of the day, my wealth building journey is always gonna start with me first. Me
Mm-hmm.
first.
Mm-hmm.
And then based on how I grow, based on how I progress, I'm going to then begin to make the relationships necessary to assist me and carry my building journey further. But it's gonna start with me first. And I think that's something that
Yeah.
we forget as a community. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
So I definitely appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and end this right now and take some more questions from people if I can. But I definitely appreciate you taking the time, man. I really do. Continue to show up. You know what I mean? And anytime you want to chime in, anytime you want to ask questions, you're always free.
All
All
right.
right.
Thanks, Fred. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Yep.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions they want to ask, anything they want to offer, to the community, anything they want to share, any stories, any questions, feel free to use the question mark area in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Ask questions if you want to. Mills, I've got a question if I could tap in. What's your question, sir? What is it? What does it relate to? Okay, while he's answering it, anybody else has any questions? Questions, comments, concerns? Okay, wonderful. So I haven't seen Jay Mills' response, so I'm going to assume that I haven't seen Jay Mills on what kind of what question he wanted to ask. So with that in mind, if no one else has any questions, I want to thank everybody for spending some time with me this evening. Thank everybody for all of that. I just want to thank everybody spending some time. And listening to me and learning a new thing. I hope this conversation was beneficial for people. I'm definitely going to save this live here. As always, we hashtag get real woke around here. And we hashtag for the free around here. We hashtag make it make sense around here. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, follow, and tell anybody that you know that can benefit from this knowledge here. Share it with them. Share the page, share the videos. The more eyes we get on the content, the more people that we can reach, and the more people will benefit from the content. Thank you guys so much, and you guys enjoy your day.